Because I considered myself partly an anarchist then, I consider myself partly an anarchist now. I mean, I'm as much an anarchist as I am a Marxist, which is to say, you know, I find a lot of the ideas in anarchism, you know, appealing. You mean today?
Yeah, today. Yeah, today.
No, I don't have. I kind of know what I think, and I'm very open about what I think, and nobody here is surprised by what I think. But at the same time, there's a struggle over various religious fundamentalisms. Jihad being, you know, the most visible, but the religious fundamentalism of the Christians and of the Jews is equally troubling. One of those regrets that I took extreme measures against the United States at a time of tremendous crisis? No, it is not. That I don't regret that. That the people of the world are being exploited and oppressed and you know, militarized by the great imperialist powers led by the United States. That is the situation today, in my view. It's a situation we should all be horrified at and we should all oppose. But the White Panther Party was a group of cultural revolutionaries, mainly. They were artists and anarchists and dope smokers and really a good group of people. I mean, we create felons by having these kind of archaic, Puritan drug laws that make no sense whatsoever in any logical way. So in that sense, I still feel like kind of an anarchist. I don't feel like the rules apply, and if they don't apply, I don't feel like you should follow them.
Nonviolent drug offenders, which has been the fastest growing category, should be treated as part of a public health problem, and that opportunities for us to use drug courts and other diversion strategies so that we're not sending them to jail.
That the country is, unanimous in this kind of suffocating, narrow view of what September 11th represents and what it means. And therefore you would kind of conclude, I think, in despair, that everyone is a born-again patriot.
He gave a speech in Iowa City today, and he wasn't wearing an American flag pin. Those pins have become synonymous with politicians since 9/11. Obama says he doesn't like how the pin has come to represent patriotism in America.
I won't wear that pin on my chest. Instead, I'm going to try to tell the American people what I believe will make this country great.
Because I considered myself partly an anarchist then, and I consider myself partly an anarchist now. I mean, I'm as much an anarchist as I am a Marxist.
It's going to tax me more, isn't it?
It's not that I want to punish your success. I just want to make sure that everybody who is behind you, that they've got a chance at success too. I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody.
If we were being fair and open-minded, then if you looked around at the world today, you would say the greatest purveyor of violence, as King said, is our own government. So that's just a fact.
Have enough troops that we're not just air raiding villages and killing civilians, which is causing enormous problems there.
I do think that white supremacy and racism continues to be the dagger pointed at the heart of American democracy. I do believe that. I believed it then, I believe it now. And I think if white people can't figure out ways to understand New Orleans before it happens, to participate in the upending of that system of white supremacy, then we're all doomed.
That despair quietly simmers and makes it impossible to build strong communities and neighborhoods. And then one afternoon a jury says, not guilty. Or a hurricane hits New Orleans, and that despair is revealed for the world to see. Much of what we saw on our television screens 15 years ago was Los Angeles expressing a lingering, ongoing, pervasive legacy, a tragic legacy out of the tragic history of this country.
I've chaired major philanthropic efforts in the city, like the Chicago Annenberg Challenge that gave $50 million to prompt school reform efforts throughout the city.
Is that Obama chose to feel that the most important thing to do in education was not test scores, not science, not math, but political consciousness and radical identification. And in fact, the stated purpose of the grant was to get away from focus on test scores or on student achievement and instead focus on radical ideology.
And I'm not sorry about anything that I participated to try to end that war or against that government that was waging that war. And I'm very open about what I think, and nobody here is surprised by what I think.